it's hard to talk about nutrition without talking about calories. And calories are a little bit hard to describe, so that's why I put it in yellow in this book. So you all know when we were reading the calories on that Coca-Cola yesterday, there's that term Kcal, right? Well, scientists made up the word calories. It's a way to describe a unit of energy, just like milligrams of mercury is the way to describe a unit of blood pressure, and just like Fahrenheit and Celsius temperatures are a way to describe units of heat. Okay? So calories, a Kcal, measures the amount of energy that a piece of food provides to our body. So it's just a descriptor of a measurement. It's just like heat is a fever and teaspoon measures the amount of salt that a person might eat. A calorie measures the amount of energy that's in food. And the reason that that's important is that every calorie we take in by eating, we need to expend it by using our energy, or else that calorie floats around in our body, gets taken up by our liver, or gets deposited into our body as fat. And so if we never eat as many calories as we use every day, we will develop malnutrition because we won't have enough calories for our energy. And when people don't eat enough calories to support their energy, they get thinner and thinner and thinner. First, they lose all their fat. Then they start to lose the fat around their essential organs, so their kidneys and their liver are no longer protected, and they start to lose the capacity to think clearly with their brain, because our brain has a lot of fat in it that's part of what holds that gray matter together. And then after that, the body literally starts to shut down, and that's what happens when people have really bad malnutrition, when they're so skinny. There's a couple different kinds, there's kwashiorkor and marasmus, and one of those is where you don't have enough protein, and the other is when you just don't even have any calories at all. All of those things happen because the energy that's taken in to the body is not enough for a child to run and go and be a child the way we want them to be here. And also that's true for adults. The flip side of having too many calories causes obesity. And we see that much more often in adults than children. So what happens with obesity is that if you sit down and have a delicious meal of French fries with a Coke on the side, you've probably taken in maybe 3,000 calories, 3,000 units of energy. And in order to keep your body at the same weight, you have to use up 3,000 units of energy that day in order to keep that extra calories from becoming fat in your body. And one of the reasons that we see people get heavier as they get older is that adults use a lot less energy than children. We don't run around and play and go on the jungle gyms and all that sort of thing. But adults also have bigger stomachs, and they have more access to foods that are fattening, and so adults tend to eat more calories even though they use less over time. And so that's where we see it. And I think you all probably see it here. Do you notice that there's a lot of malnutrition in little kids? But then when you look around, there's also a lot of obesity in adults. It makes me aware of the difficulty of the problem when I see a very obese teacher checking a student for malnutrition. And the child is malnourished and the teacher is obese. And I'm not saying it's anybody's fault, but it's a really important picture of how our nutritional balances get off very easily. Does that make sense? Yeah. And when we see that in resource-poor communities, what it tells me is that people don't have the information they need to make those good choices.